Plywood as far as the eye can see, or really about 12 feet. This is going to be our first shot at a 66-15 Gaucho by Scotty. Now we did, we've already done a JS 15, but that did not have the drop down. This has the drop down. You know, we already made the drop down when we completed the floor. So it's not going to be difficult. Not going to be easy. But I think we could do it. So what I did was I went and got 6 sheets. I call it cabinet grade. It's really sanded both sides and it's made to be pretty. And I picked the best side because this is double deep right here. There's one here and one under here. So I took the best side, I sandwiched them together. And then I'm going to saw them out. And then when I pull them apart, they can go like this on each side of the trailer. Because both sides should be identical as far as the circumference goes. Of course, we're going to have a door on one side and, you know, that kind of stuff. But we can cut that out at a later date. So I've got my 6 sheets sandwiched together with the pretty side because, now if it was paint, I wouldn't worry about it. Now the customer wanted originally all paint. You know, I don't feel good about that. I do it if it's not too crazy. But what she decided was she's going to have paint elsewhere, but on the walls we're going to do a clear shellac. Very light, clear shellac. She kind of has a lighter vision going on for this one. So I'm going to show you, those of you that have been here for a long time, hey, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, ring the bell. The best people leave me comments. I appreciate you guys every week. You've seen me cut these out and how I do it, but I'm going to do it again because I know we've got some new viewers. Get on my good side, new viewers. Leave me a comment. All right, I'm going to put this tin on here, kind of get it started, and then we'll go from there. Kind of got the tin laid out over here, just off to the side. And this is not the door side, obviously. So this is going to go on the bottom carefully. So there's going to be a point on here that's exactly 12 feet. And it's probably going to be right there. Somewhere, there's your point right there. So it's going to be between here and there. We got a little damage to repair. We can fix that. That shouldn't be too tough. So we'll get that set right there. And here is also not the door side, which isn't a whole lot different. This one has for that little window in the bathroom. The door side, it's more or less there, but it's a much bigger cutout. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get these cleaned up, put together like that. Hey, that one went right in. Kind of like that. So I'm going to do that to the rest of it. Then I'm probably going to have to maybe clamp it down too. I've got these clamps on here for a reason because I want everything. If you look right along here, I want this square to be square, hold it together here, hold this together here, because if I don't have that on there and I'm not paying attention, this could have a seam. So then when I go to square everything up on the trailer, then you got that big seam. A little one, tiny, no big deal, because then we could just trim that out. We're going to trim it anyway to make it look nice, but we don't want a gap. We don't want a gap. So that's the purpose of putting these here. I used to kind of screw them, but I thought, I'm going to try these clamps. These clamps seem to be doing me right. I'm going to see if this might be a good thing. You can never have enough clamps. These are only like 98 cents. Every time you walk by one at the big box store, pick one up. Eventually you might have it close to enough. All right, I'm going to get this going. And then once I start trimming everything up, I'll show that to you. All right, I'm going to trace this around the outside. I'm not going to worry about where the windows are right now. I can cut those later when I make sure that they're exact, because yeah, they never are. They're close, but I can just take the saw, cut them out after I get them up, get everything, get the metal test fitted. We'll know where it is at that point, and trim will cover up any little mistakes that we make. So let's just trace this out. Maybe if you're nice to Russ, he'll double time this for you. said I wasn't gonna mark the windows. I only did that just so I could see how close I got. That's just for me, just purely for fun, just to see if I got it right. So I got to take this down, pull it off, and then I've got to make another adjustment that I'm going to show you. All right, I got the tin off of there. I've got my outline made. But if you remember on a Scotty, if this is your roof, your ceiling, you've got to build it up. Some people say 3/4, some say 1 inch. On this one, I'm doing 1 inch so that I have inch insulation in the roof. So that means I have to back off the tin 1 inch. Otherwise, you put your tin up and then you got 1 inch worth of roof not covered by tin. Not gonna look good. Believe me, I did that once. I did it again. So I don't like doing things twice, so I generally don't. So I'm going to show you my little trick. I'm sure everybody has one, or maybe even probably a better one than this. This is just the one that I use that helps me. All right, there's our line right there. I'll kind of take you along this line. This is a 1 inch right here. This from here to here, 1 inch. Because I know that if this is the top of the metal, and we know it is, that means that there is going to be 1 inch build up. 1 inch build up. So there's going to be a 3/4 by 4 rafter right there. Then I'm going to run another 1/4 inch rail over the top of it, and that will equal to my 1 inch. So I've got to come down 1 inch for my buildup. That way I can get all my insulation in here. So I run along this line right here carefully, and I take this pencil and I keep it right against this. So like if I started, let's see right there, and I got my pencil there, I just make sure that I hold that pencil straight and I follow this line all the way. I got to be very careful to stay on the line. This is not something that you get in a hurry with at all. And then if you look there, now here's the line I'm going to cut. I'm going to cut on this line. I'll clean that up a little bit. It's a little wonky, but that's really not bad for what I usually do. So again, this is part of what a rafter really would be. Hey, you like that camera work? So cool to be here when I'm running the camera. But anyway, that will be sitting right here. Right there. How about right there? That's where that's going to be sitting. And then we'll build up along the side. We'll go over this when we get there. But then there will be another strip right here, just right across the top. It won't go all the way across the top. It's just going to be a build-up rail right here. And we'll build that up to here. And that's going to give us room to put 1 inch of insulation. And here in Oklahoma, that sun beats down. Every extra 1/4 inch of insulation that you can get is well worth it. I'm going to finish this, and then I'll show you when I cut it out. We're going to hit some shellac here. Not amber. Clear shellac. These guys aren't paying me. It's just what I use. It's what's available. But customer wants it real light. Real light. So we're going to see how this goes. We're going to do one coat and see if it really brings out the shine on this this wood. I think it will. But we can't be too light. But I think this wood's pretty thirsty. I wiped it down with a wet washcloth, damp washcloth, and I got all the extra sanding off of it. All the sawdust is gone. So we're gonna give this a shot. Remember, I just put a little bit here on the. Ooh, I better make sure that's clean. That could have been a problem. There we go. This high-tech paper plate. All right. So what I'm going to do, come over here. I'm going to pour a little bit of, I mean, it says clear, but you can kind of see it's a little tan, really, maybe even a little brown. And then remember, I found these little guys. Again, nobody's paying me, but I think you might like to use them. Is that upside down? No. All right. It makes this go way faster. Way faster. And then I can move on to another project. All right. Let's get after it, see how we're looking. Don't get too much. That first one, it might be a little wild. See what you think. See how fast that goes? And look at that's bringing it out. It's got a little hue to it. Well, let's keep this party going like this. I always want to go with the grain of the wood. Make sure that you're hitting everything. Make sure you got your overhead lights on. Usually by today, or this time of the day, I've got the lights off because I got both of my shop doors open. And it's bright outside. So, but when I'm doing this, I want to make sure that if I'm only doing one coat, I can get it in one coat. And I want to see anything that I missed. We're not going to be so crazy about down here, because down here is where the seating is. So it's going to be covered up anyway. We're still going to do it. We're just not going to get crazy about if we miss a tiny spot. We're not going to restart the engines here. All right. A couple more passes and I think we're good. Really, we want to focus really on the top. That's what you're going to see in the front. There's going to be a little cabinet up there blocking that. There's going to be a window here, dinette seating there. So you're really not going to see, I mean, you don't see that much of the walls in a camper if they're built properly. They should have lots and lots of cabinets and things strengthening the camper. But we're still going to do a nice job. Because you might be one of those people like me that opens up the cabinet and wants to make sure that the work was done properly. All right, let's take a look at that. Let's push this one right next to it. Look at that. Great camera work. What do you think? I mean, that's one coat, and she wants it light. I think if I want another coat, I don't know, it might be too much. Might be too much. I mean, it brought out, you can see those red tones right there, down there. Well, you won't see those, but you'll see that. You'll see part of that and that. So that really brought that out real nice. And that will darken up just a touch as it dries. Not much, just a touch. I think I'm going to do the rest of it. And then by the time I'm done, I'll come back to this first piece and see where it is. But man, I don't know. I kind of like it. What do you think? Drop me a little comment. Those of you that have been holding out on your comments, hit some keystrokes for me. Tell me if you think you'd go darker. Now remember, customer said light. What do you think?